Come at me. I don't want to railroad anything. I'm letting Mike roll.
Oh, we'd like to hear your expertise. Off you go.
Don't hang out the link for the event, for this. That's
Hey,
what
it
I'd
looks
say.
like we're
Don't hang
live,
them out.
guys. Yay.
We went live. We went
Well done,
live. Hello,
Cynthia.
everyone. All right, and I see Melanie.
Hey, Melanie.
So wonderful to connect here. And thank you guys, everyone that's out there joining us for the Global Social Summit Hangout here. 30 minutes of power and fun. Going to dive into a number of things, answer some questions here, and take some questions. We want to talk about what's happening in social media, some of the things that are coming up and have changed recently, and what it means. It's going to be our speaker lineup almost. We have a few more folks, too, that will be with us for the summit that actually starts September 15th. But today, we want to have fun, answer some questions, and dig in. So I'm going to get things started, and stay with us because we are going to have a special offer that is going to be for everyone at the end of this hangout to get special discounts to join us for the Global Social Summit. It's going to be a code, and you're going to like it. It's going to be 50% off. So stay with us here. And I want to introduce my co-host for this time, Jenny Brennan, all the way from Ireland. Jenny, how are you?
Hey, Mike, I'm great. Thank you very much. Hi, everyone.
All right. So let's see. I'm going to try to get Melanie in here. So, Jenny, why don't you kind of dive in and get things started then?
Yeah, sure. Well, the first thing I suppose we wanted to cover today was all the news in Facebook, which brings me on to, I suppose, having a chat with Andrea. Andrea, you've got a new book out, which is fantastic. Everything everybody needs to know. But I think one of the biggest news stories this summer has been the fact that like-gating has been gotten rid of from November. So what kind of impact do you think this is going to have on businesses? Because we've been using it to grow our audiences, or many brands have been using it to grow their audiences.
Yeah, and actually, I don't think it's a bad thing. I liked the Lightgate for a long time. I thought it was really powerful, especially for things like a Facebook contest, when you wanted someone to like your page in order to enter, and then you'd get the like and the email once they entered. But now, since Facebook reach has been going down, I think that the likes and really focusing on likes isn't quite as important as focusing on getting people's email addresses from your Facebook community and using Facebook ads to also focus in on targeting to your products or services or opt-ins to your perfect client. And you can always then use email to remind them to go ahead and like your page and hopefully get connected with them that way. But I think that the message here is to really focus on getting an email address and using things like opt-ins, webinars, free reports, white papers, coupons, all those types of things to get the opt-in rather than the like.
Okay, so and really, I suppose what strikes me is that there needs to be more of a focus on content and the quality of content that people are sharing on their Facebook pages, and engaging people that way, as opposed to, I suppose, getting them in there because they're winning a prize or something.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And your audience will know how valuable you are and come and find you. So I think people are worried about the reach and they're concerned about it, but your true fans you'll get through to them, and it's just a way to connect with them in multiple ways. You have to focus on using all your channels to be able to get your message out, but making sure that you've got engaging content along the way is good.
Okay, that's great. So, Mike, I'm going to hand it over to you because I think you have some questions for Cynthia.
Yeah, I wanted to follow up on that a little bit more. The one thing was that they've changed the algorithm with the clickbait. They're going against clickbait, and that was kind of those titles, articles. So basically, they don't want you to put a photo post in, and then put a link within that. They want you to use pure links, but they don't want to use headlines that are clickbaiting. And I thought maybe I'd point to Ian. I mean, you're a master of titles with blog articles and things, and so titles are important there. What do you think about this latest newsfeed change that's trying to avoid the clickbait?
Yeah, I think things just going to keep going back and forth with these changes because, you know, everybody goes one route to trying to lure people in, and then Facebook make a change. So I think it's just natural they're going to keep on adjusting their algorithms for it, you know. So we'll see more changes in that area. You know, they'll keep on adjusting, I think, over the next while.
Yep, it's maturing. I think it's a maturing process, and so you have to change and flow with that. But speaking of maturing, I want to move into Pinterest because I think Pinterest is growing up here a little bit more as well, Cynthia. And a couple big changes that I've noticed recently: the messaging, and then some of the analytics for the business account. So, what are you thinking about these, Cynthia? And how are they impacting things? Maybe start with the messaging.
Yeah, August has definitely been a very busy month for Pinterest. As far as the messaging feature, it really makes Pinterest more of a social network. Before this, it was really difficult to have those private conversations on Pinterest. You had to, you know, either take it maybe to another platform like to Twitter or Facebook and have that conversation there. You used to be able to send pins, but now you can actually have conversations around pins. And it can be done among groups as well, not just between two people. You can actually have a group conversation. And I think this is going to be really, really a great tool for people who have, I guess, service-based businesses to really communicate with their clients. You know, what do you think about this idea? Maybe web design or graphic design, interior design, you know, even maybe like somebody that helps with resumes or things like that. You could really, I think, collaborate really, really well with the new messaging feature they have. And as far as analytics goes, oh my gosh, it is like 110 times in percent improved from the previous analytics that they had before, which were kind of clunky and just kind of gave you some basic broad overviews. Now you can see a lot more about the people who are following you, what other interests they have, which ones of your pins are getting repinned and clicked through the most. A lot of useful information right there at your fingertips in a much more streamlined, I guess, presentation than was there before.
Excellent, excellent. All right. Anyone else playing with some of these new tools on Pinterest?
Just me.
All right. Well, speaking of new tools, then, Jenny, do you want to go into one of the other new tools that's out there?
Yeah, sure, Mike. I think we're just having a problem with some people joining us on the Hangout. If that's okay, if we could just reshare the live Hangout link.
Okay. I'm sharing it on the event page.
We do have 10 people in the room, so nobody else is going to be able to come in unless anyone drops out, unless you're on an apps account.
Unless I want to what?
Unless you've got an account that allows you to have 50. This is going to get really geeky, Mike. Do you really want to go down this way?
Well, we should.
What might you have?
But
you know, we're full. We're full.
No, we're on air live, so we should be broadcasting, right?
We are broadcasting. Hello.
Okay. Oh, are you talking about someone else getting in?
Yeah, I think the link being shared is for people to actually join our group, our group of 10 here. Yeah.
Oh, we need the link to be able to watch.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was given to me earlier. I shared that one live, so we can do that one. There we go. Just everyone talk amongst themselves. So if you're watching this right now, just don't worry. It's okay.
There it is. Here, Mark.
There you go. That's the event. So it should. I think that's what I've just shared. Oh, you didn't put. Mike. I'll tell you what it is. Down at the. So I do it at the bottom. It says links. And there's a little button on the lower right-hand side. If you click that, there's a YouTube link. You need to drop that into the event thread so that people can watch. That's the missing bit. Or I won't talk you through the embedding of it in the event right now. We'll just put it in the thread. Yeah, you see it has a little link sign on the lower right-hand side.
Yep.
Yeah. If you chuck it to me as well. Oh no, if you just chuck it in the event. Anyone good jokes? Anyone? Andrea? Got any good jokes?
Well, I went down to the grocery store. No.
All right. Yes.
Okay.
That should be live and shared there, Ian.
I've got jokes about cat videos on Facebook, so.
All right, Lo, let's talk about hyperspeed. Let's dive back into Instagram then. So Instagram made a recent change. Has anyone played with Hyperlapse?
It's only on Apple right now, so I can't play with it with my little Android phone, but I have seen lots of people posting. I saw someone post an airplane takeoff, and of course Mike posted his drive to work, right? I felt like I was right there with you, Mike. I was like, here we go to Mike's work,
It was, and
it's
looking
super
back
cool.
on that, you saw my curves.
I play into it. I think it's because like Andrea is saying, it's only for iOS now. So either your iOS phone or your iPad, but it's going to be super because you'll be able to do time-lapsed video, and Hyperlapse has a built-in stabilization technology. So as you are on the go and taking that video, you're producing a cinematography effect that usually you would have to have a more expensive piece of equipment to do that. So I personally can't wait to try it out. But I'll have to try it out on the iPad as I have an Android phone.
Yeah, all right. Very good. Very good.
Just my feedback on it is that I suppose it's a novelty at the moment. I think an awful lot of people will use it, and we'll get all sorts of videos on them, and most of them will be useless. So, but there's specific uses for them, So they'll probably be overdone, these videos.
Yeah, they could be redone. Or too much of them. We'll have to wait and see how that works out. But I like it. It's just a matter of finding ways to use it.
Too bad we didn't have it while we were all doing the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Speed it up.
Speeding those up a little bit. Yes. Now, did anyone, speaking of Instagram as well, the Instagram Facebook thing, did any of you pay attention and see the test that Facebook was doing with Instagram and Mercedes-Benz? So they were, targeting people who were on the Instagram who saw a Mercedes-Benz ad on Instagram. So that was a Instagram ad. Then they were targeting them on Facebook as well. So it's kind of the first time that they're bringing those across. Now, it's not live to the public or anything, but there was some research and things done on that. That could be something very unique that could come forward in a few months.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a really cool option where you can retarget people based on their social sites. I think that's going to be cool. And another way to make money for Facebook.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's start moving into Google Plus then a little bit more here. And there were some changes here with even the Hangout on Air app. And Donna, why don't you dive into a little bit of what some of these changes are, and then we'll weave Martin into the picture as well.
Well, one of the apps I think is really cool that's come out is the Showcase app. So you can use the Showcase app inside of a Hangout on Air, which is what we are all on today. And with that Showcase app, you are able to showcase a YouTube video, merchandise, another website. And that in the, I think it's the movie Rise of the Planet of the Apes, I hope I have that title right, they did a live hangout with the cast members, and then they used the Showcase app so that they could showcase clips from the movie on the right-hand side. So they show up as cards, whatever it is you're sending your audience out to. So as they click that card, it does leave the visible portion of the hangout, so the attendees can still hear what's going on, but they're engaged. They're able to engage in an external site that you send them to. And, of course, when they close that, it takes them back to where they can see the one who's presenting. And then the other awesome part to that is that what you've showcased records in with that HOA, which of course is connected to your YouTube channel. So when people go back to watch the replay, they can still actively engage in those areas, those external sources that the creator of the show brought in. So I'm excited about that app.
Yep.
And,
Very good thing.
And
now
then,
I also go ahead. Sorry.
It's all right. I was just going to say that Gmail, Hangout in Gmail is getting a little rework, and that now you can look at who's online relative to your contacts, and then you can pin them to the top so that you have your saved contacts that you'd like to see who are online. Then that's rolling out, so there's a revision going on there. And then for me as a business user, I run my company on the Google Apps platform. So now business users, Hangouts are going to be friendlier for Google Apps business users, in that there will be no longer needed a Google Plus profile for businesses who are using Google business apps. They'll just have to have a Google account, so that's great. So they've dropped the Google Plus to just Hangouts. So Hangouts is becoming a core part of the Google apps that are available to business users.
Excellent, excellent. And I got to come back around to Martin here. I know he won't toot his own horn, but he's been doing some great things in the Google Plus community over the past few months. And so maybe I can twist your arm a little bit, Donna, to share on behalf, since we won't have Martin. He won't talk about himself that way, but what's he been doing and how great is it?
Martin. Let me talk about Martin. Martin has a wonderful Plus Your Business community on Google as well as website. So within this community and within just everything that Martin's offering is that if you need to learn Google Plus at a very high level, and of course within Google Plus there are multiple tools. So within that community, and you're learning about all of these things, and it's a great place to be to learn at a higher level. So Martin, in this group, the Plus Your Business, he can provide training that starts you at ground zero and takes you and skyrockets you to even a high-tech level. Because there's a high-tech level involved in, for example, Hangouts on Air, which is what we're doing now. So if you're not part of that community on Google+, I would encourage you strongly to become part of that community, because Martin knows Google+.
All right, Martin.
Thank you very much. And you said skyrocket.
Just so you know, that was not a paid advertisement.
It wasn't, I know. And you said skyrocket, which
I like that.
I like rockets. Thank you.
I call it like it is, Martin. That's how it is.
Cool.
For me,
Mike, because there's been big news today about Google+. So thank you both. But this is the big news for people. They've got to sort of understand what's happening. They've killed Google authorship after 3 years.
Yeah.
So Google authorship is no more. What does this mean? Think personalized search. What people don't realize necessarily is when you go to google.com, it's now called private. It used to be called personalized as a little icon. That's the default. So the results that you're getting are influenced by the people that you have in your circles. And this is really important for people to understand, is that you are influencing other people's search results when you're posting content on Google Plus that have you in circles. And I just put a video out today, as it happened, that shows that if you share a link from a website, don't know if it's got authorship or not, if you share a link, you are potentially taking that link from a website into Google search as a Google Plus post. So if you share your content on Google Plus, you can take other people's content into search. This is what's going on. So they dropped the term personalized in terms of the icon. It's now called private, and it's the default. See, I said it twice in two different ways. Really important for people to build their networks, and it means that in a way with authorship, Google Plus is still very strong and able to take content in. So I think that's something which there's a frenzy going on today around the pluses and the minuses of all of this. It almost doesn't matter, because Google do stuff and we keep going. That's how it is. And if you've got great quality content and you are increasing your authority on the subject matters, and other people are +1 comment sharing and giving you their authority through that process and saying this is great stuff, it's likely that content's going to surface in search. So everything that we've been doing, all of the tests, all of the social SEO processes, same as ever. Nothing's changed. So that's something for people to see. And there will be naysayers, and they just don't necessarily understand the nature of the network and how that's influencing on Google.com and other search engines.
What's most important for the an average user, small business owner right now with this change? Is nothing specific they need to do, just need to be aware of this?
They don't need to do anything. Actually, what they need to do is get started on Google Plus and start building a network, really. I think that's the thing, and see that it's almost like the authorship we can't use the word authorship, but you are authoring content from your profile that can lead to it surfacing in search. So if people aren't sharing stuff on their profile, those personalized search results can't appear. And we were told before that the click-through rate of having an image was higher. So this is the only way that you're going to get an image in search, is by having a post on Google Plus that's shared and having your profile picture and so on. So it's kind of, for businesses right now, get started on Google Plus, build your Google Plus network, have quality content, have people around you that then engage on it. It's the same as it's always been.
Okay, excellent. All right. So how about in the tool world, Ian? What do you think is happening in the tool world, and anything that you want to dive into in that realm?
Sure. I'm always testing out some new tools and stuff. I suppose I might share a couple of tools I'm testing at the moment, which might be quite interesting. One is one called Naytev, Naytev. And what Naytev does is, we mentioned earlier on that the importance of having a good title when you're sharing content out. So when somebody comes to your site and shares out a post, you can keep on altering the title that's shared out. So you might have 3 or 4 different titles, and it's automatically changed as somebody's sharing it out. And then Naytev measures the results of when somebody shares that out, and then it automatically promotes the one that's getting the best title. So I think this social media optimization area is going to be a really interesting area for a couple of different fronts, and that's an interesting tool. Another one I'm having fun one is a tool called SEO Logis, SEO-L-O-G-I-E-S. I don't know how to pronounce it, but what it does is it's analyzing your content to find how relevant it is for particular keywords. So it'll make suggestions of relevant keywords you should include with your content. And I played around with a couple of posts, and I'm moving posts up the ranking and search results by just adding in content it's telling me to add in. So it's quite an interesting tool.
Excellent. All right, very good. So, all right, now let's see. We lost Melanie then.
We lost Melanie, Mike, I think, yeah. We wanted to cover LinkedIn Publisher with Melanie, but I don't know where she is. I don't know if we can get her in there. But maybe I'll start anyway, just in relation to LinkedIn Publisher, and again, maybe Ian, you can jump in here and talk a little bit about it, like just in relation to businesses using it. Like, is it something that small businesses should be looking at in terms of getting involved with it?
From my point of view, I think they should definitely test it out. I've tried a couple of posts on it. One thing what happens is your post gets profiled on LinkedIn, so you end up getting a lot of connection requests. So if you want to build your network on LinkedIn, it's a good way of getting exposure. But it comes back to what Martin was saying with Google Plus. Again, it's quality content. Don't be just throwing content into LinkedIn and say, now I've got some articles. If you want to stand out on any of these platforms, it has to be a really good, unique, original article. And so spend the time doing it. And if you invest that time, most people are not investing the time. If you invest that time, you will stand out, and it will help build your network and your profile.
Okay. So it's good from that point of view. Is anyone else using LinkedIn Publisher? Andrea, have you published on it?
I haven't yet, and I have been meaning to, and I just haven't gotten around to it. But seen amazing results from some of my friends who are getting much more views and much more exposure there than their own blog. And I had a friend who has kind of a real niche subject, and her post about travel and airline travel was and maintaining your health during that time got huge viewership and attracted a lot of people to her site as a result. So it was a really great way to get a wider exposure than what she was getting with her own website. And so I definitely recommend it as, especially a very some angle that you can have that is good for a wider consumer base that might be interested in sharing it. So you have to, I think, pick your articles carefully.
Okay. And yeah, and also as Ian was talking about earlier, quality. But if you're a small business and you've just started a blog and you want to get a bit of traction and a bit of attention, then this is probably the thing to do.
Could I add a couple of points about that, Jenny?
Sure.
On the publisher, it's just for anyone that's in the audience listening that might not know, fully about the publisher. It's like Andrea was saying, it's a blogging platform, but it lives on your profile. So as Ian and everyone else has pointed out, you want to have good content, think strategically about what it is that you're going to write, because what you publish lives on your profile. And then those who aren't connected to you, another benefit for publishing using that platform is that people who aren't connected to you can follow your post, or vice versa. I can follow the post of someone I'm not connected with, and you can gain visibility, of course, by commenting, because the post has the ability for you to comment. So there's a lot of different strategies involved. And, of course, that big one is aligning yourself as the subject matter expert that you are and adding value to those trusted contacts that you have on LinkedIn.
I'll add one caveat, and that is, for whatever reason, I have never been approved by LinkedIn. So my application just goes into oblivion, and I never hear anything, so I can never test it out. I see everyone jumping on there and publishing.
Mike, what'd you do? What'd you do to LinkedIn? You've offended them.
Send out too many of those requests for connection when not knowing the people or something, I guess.
Mike, the LinkedIn spammer.
I guess.
Secret life.
Yeah. All right. Hey, well, why don't we just dive in a little bit here before I give the special discount code here and talk through what each of you are going to be bringing at the Doable Social Summit. So just a brief synopsis of what your session is going to be about. And we don't have everyone here. Pam Moore's going to be bringing some goods on Twitter, making it practical, what's been happening there, growing leads, and obviously Melanie Dodaro is going to be on LinkedIn. But Andrea, back to you, and why don't you give a little quick intro into what's going to be of value with Facebook ads for you?
Yeah, Facebook ads are becoming more critical, and there are lots of ways Facebook will take your money. And I do not want you to give too much money to Facebook. So I'm going to be talking about how to really test your ads, figure out what's working for you, setting them up and reading the reports right so you know what you're looking at. We're going to give you great benchmarks, and we're going to get you started on your first campaign by the end. This is the Doable Social Summit, so we're going to make it doable. By the end of my session, you will know exactly what you need to do to get your first campaign started and know how to tell when it's successful for you. So we're going to rock it.
Absolutely. All right, very good. And how about Cynthia? Do you want to dive into a little bit of Pinterest?
Yeah, sure. Well, as far as Facebook advertising, Pinterest did just start advertising as well too. So we really have more ways of generating leads and sales through the Pinterest now. So during my session, we were going to touch a little bit on the Pinterest advertising, but really more just the overall concept. Because if you're not quite ready to get into that, just more the overall concept of using Pinterest for leads and sales, and what really needs to be in those images to catch people's attention and get them back to your site to get that conversion that you're looking for. So lots of fun there.
Excellent, excellent. And let's see, how about Donna? Do you want to go into the details that you're going to be bringing?
Sure. Well, I'm going to be helping business users learn how to use two different types of Hangouts and how that they can use that to generate leads. So we've got a lot of different things I'm going to be going over and ideas for them and showing them how that they can use this to generate more leads as the content generator, and just to show that it's not so technical that it's not doable for you. So I'm going to be going over the sort of non-tech approach too to how to implement Google Hangouts in your marketing strategy. It's all going to be great, and you should be able to be running your first Hangout right after the event.
All right, all right. Ian, why don't you dive into your social tools a little bit?
Sure, yeah. So we'll be looking at a whole range of tools, so a very practical, actionable session. And it's really about making you more efficient and effective with your use of social media. So we'll definitely have you saving time. There's definitely some tips you'll be able to implement at the end of the session. So I hope everybody joins in.
Excellent, excellent. And how about Martin? You want to come back on and tell us a little bit about your session?
Yeah. I've put something special together, which is going to be around how to generate leads and how to generate sales from social activity and how it relates to websites, which is where the sales are going to happen, but also search. And so people are going to have a sort of practical tactics session really on how they can do that. And I've created some new fun images because there's stuff that we're testing out right now that I haven't shown people. And I think we've worked something out. So hopefully within a couple of weeks we're going to have that ready, and it's going to be slightly different for people, and it might involve a bit of advertising, but it will fit very much within their entire sort of approach for their business. So we're going to put everything together, how Google Plus fits in.
Excellent, excellent. And for myself, I get to bring a session that kind of weaves all these different pieces together. How you grow leads and sales, like Martin said, on your website, but using these different tools. So how can you use these tools to amplify your content? And then how can you use social networks to reach more people, reach the right people, and then bring them into your website where you can capture leads and nurture them through various means like email marketing. So that's what I'm looking forward to. As we wrap up, I do see that we have a question posted, and it looks like it's going to be in the Donna and Martin realm here about Google Plus for nonprofits. Would you say it's a valuable tool for workshops and possible fundraisers? One of you want to tackle that a little bit? How about we start with Donna and then go to Martin quick?
Okay, so the question is how nonprofits could benefit from utilizing Hangouts. Is that right?
Yes, particularly, is it a valuable tool for workshops and fundraising?
It is a valuable tool for workshops and fundraising, because with a nonprofit, we want to get our message out. We have limited budget most of the time with being a nonprofit, and so you can go to the airwaves with your message. And my suggestion would be to go to those airwaves with a Hangout on Air, because the Hangout on Air then records to their YouTube channel if they have a YouTube channel connected to it, and then it's available for anyone at any time to go and hear that message. So that's the quick answer.
All right, very good. And how about Martin?
That's a good quick answer. And I think, because you've got two different types, you've got Hangouts and you've got Hangouts on Air. So for the creation of an audience experience that can sit on YouTube, that you can then decide who sees in the future, that's great for Hangout on Air. You can also take that content, you can transcribe it, and you can turn it into articles, and you can do extra things. So it's great for content creation and get there. But you've also got Hangouts. So if you've got internal, you have meetings and you have staff, or you have team members, or you have advocates that you want to connect all over the world, then you can bring them into a Hangout. But you can also work on a Drive document together, for instance, which is Google's cloud storage, and you can be watching. It's like magic. You can be watching everybody working on the document together, or you could watch a YouTube video, or you could have a conversation. Now that is when you take it. This is about connecting people, and this is what Google Plus is all about. And this is just one area. Hangouts is one app. Then you start to look at communities, and then you start to look at how you find the people that are going to be the evangelists for your charity or for your business. And that's when the whole thing works as an ecosystem. And I think that's what's so exciting. And it's down to your imagination how you use it. But it's understanding, and I think Donna sessions can be great because people will understand the foundations and then build from there and look at exploring how they can use it in their business. And it's free. If you have an apps account, there's a monthly charge, but it's free for the normal. This is the cool thing.
Man, I'm switching from Facebook. I'm coming over to Google Plus.
I told you before.
Come on. You know what? Gosh, you really sold it there.
I can see a Google Plus for Dummies book coming up.
There we go.
I think it's great.
There we go. Hey, well, I want to make sure we get the special code out there. So we're going to be running this special offer to get you into the Doable Social Summit. That's going to be 50% off, and that's either the regular pass, which is right now at $297, or the VIP pass, which is $397. So you get 50% off of that by just registering using the code ESS Hangout at checkout. That's ESS Hangout all together, and we'll be posting that here in the chat area. But we want to make sure that you have that. That's going to be live through the weekend and beginning of the week. It's going to go through Wednesday of next week. All right, so that is your opportunity to make sure you get in. So through September 3rd, you'll be able to get in 50% off the Doable Social Summit just for hanging out with us and being around. So we want to thank you for that. Or any final words there, Jenny?
Yeah, I think, Mike, that it was great to have a chat. It's quite interesting to have so many people on one Hangout. Actually, we're all trying to get so much content into half an hour. But I think the most important thing to realize about this summit is that for a small business owner, you know, with limited time, limited resources, possibly limited budget, this event stands out on its own in that it's very manageable to do each of the sessions each night over the 10 nights. We've got fantastic speakers, which is great, all leaders in their field. So if people are looking to really ramp up their social media, this is a great place to start. And so thanks so much to everyone for joining us, and look forward to seeing you all the 15th.
September 15th. And again, that was DSS Hangout that's available now through next Wednesday. So thanks, folks, for being with us, and have a great day for the rest of you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Here.